Folks, in my 20 years inside the NFL war room, scouring film, crunching numbers, and tracking every whisper behind closed doors, I've never seen anything like this. What I'm about to tell you is not just another rumor. It's a seismic shift that could redefine the landscape of the AFC North and shake the entire league. You better sit down, because what's brewing behind the scenes right now is bigger than anything we've seen in recent memory. There's a secret, an insidious plan, and if it comes to fruition, it will change the game forever. I guarantee you this: the next few minutes will change your entire perception of the Cleveland Browns and the NFL's future. Trust me, you do not want to miss a second of what's coming. But before I let you in on the full story, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and activate that notification bell. If you want to be truly inside the league, part of the elite circle that knows what's coming before anyone else, you're in the right place. Because what I'm about to reveal is not just a rumor. It's a tip from insiders close to the Browns, and trust me, the best is still yet to come. Only the true insiders, the ones paying attention to every detail, are going to understand what this deal could mean. Are you ready? Let's go. Now first, let's set the stage. Cleveland, a franchise starving for relevance, for a superstar spark, has been stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. Since their last playoff appearance in 2023, the Browns have desperately tried to re-engineer their offense, hoping that a new coaching staff and some flashy names will be enough. But beneath all the hype, the real issues remain. Their wide receiver core has been inconsistent, and their offensive identity still feels incomplete. Deshaun Watson, after a tumultuous few seasons, is supposed to be the franchise's savior, but he's coming off a tough back-to-back injury and a 2025 campaign that barely cracked the 3,000-yard mark. Their offensive line, although improved, still struggles in certain scenarios, especially in clutch moments. And what about that receiving core? Sure, they have talent, but it's not enough against the league's best defenses. Film study doesn't lie. You see the same repeating issues: inconsistency in route depth, drops under pressure, and a lack of explosive plays when they need it most. Analytics. They scream that Cleveland's passing attack is trending downward, especially on third down and red zone efficiency. Opponents are stacking the box against their run game, daring Watson and his receivers to beat them deep. And that's where their biggest weakness lies. They don't have a true game-breaking receiver who can threaten vertically and stretch defenses to their breaking point. The offense is predictable, and Watson's deep ball accuracy has been inconsistent at best, a glaring problem in today's NFL where explosive plays decide games. Cleveland needs a spark. They need a game changer. And I've been across the league long enough to know the answer is right there in front of us, waiting to be scooped up. That answer is Brandon Cooks. Yes, you heard me right, Brandon Cooks. The man who's been a deep threat staple since 2014, with 6 1,000-yard seasons, has the raw speed, route-running finesse, and football IQ to elevate any offense. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Cooks, at 32, is entering the twilight of his prime, yet in 2025 he proved he still has that blazing speed. He's running routes like a man half his age, and his yards per catch remain elite at around 15. That's exactly what Cleveland needs: someone who can immediately force safeties back, open up the field for Watson, and create mismatches across defenses. Now, let's get into the film. When you watch Cooks, it's obvious why he's still considered one of the most dangerous deep threats in the league. The guy has a sudden burst off the line, exceptional quickness in his cuts, and exceptional body control. His release is silky smooth, and his ability to stay in stride while tracking the ball over his shoulder is second to none. Watch the catch against the Kansas City Chiefs in 2021. The way he contorts his body midair for that spectacular grab, that's not just talent, that's elite-level football intelligence. His route deception, subtle head fakes, and ability to make sharp cuts make him a nightmare for cornerbacks. And his yards after catch? Still among the best in the league, especially in open space. Advanced metrics paint an even more compelling picture. His target separation percentage, elite, often ranked in the top 10 league-wide, confirming his ability to get open against tight coverage. His yards per route run? In 2025, a solid 2.4, demonstrating his consistent ability to generate chunk plays. And when you dig into his advanced catch metrics, his contested catch rate isn't spectacular, but don't forget. Cooks makes his money on those explosive plays over the top, not contested fades. He's a specialist at stretching defenses vertically, which opens up everything underneath. And that's exactly what Cleveland's offense needs, not just a receiver, but a blueprint changer. Now, why are so many scouts and insiders raving about Cooks? Because he's the perfect fit for their current offensive scheme. Todd Monken, who's just taken over as head coach, is known for his innovative vertical passing attack, a perfect match for a guy like Cooks. Monken's offense thrives on creating explosive plays, big plays that turn the tide of games. Imagine Watson firing deep, Cooks burning the defense, safeties having to respect that speed, suddenly everything else opens up. That's a nightmare scenario for defenses and a dream come true for Cleveland fans. But here's the kicker, the trade mechanics. How could this possibly happen? Cleveland doesn't have a massive cap space right now, but with some clever maneuvering, releasing or restructuring veterans, taking advantage of rookie contracts, and leveraging their draft picks, a deal for Cooks could be done. Buffalo isn't in a position where they need to hold onto a veteran like Cooks. They're building for the future, and they've got a loaded receiver room already. A reasonable package, maybe a mid-round pick, a conditional late-rounder, and perhaps a player swap that benefits both sides. Remember, Cooks has a year left on his contract, making this a short-term, high-impact move. Buffalo might see this as a way to shed cap space, while Cleveland sees pure upside. They could offer a third-round pick and a young developmental receiver or a future second-rounder if they want a bigger splash. From Buffalo's perspective, they get a proven veteran who can step in immediately, especially with their playoff push now over, and a chance to reboot their offense for next season. It's a win-win, but only if Cleveland pulls the trigger. Now, what about scheme fit? This isn't just a random addition. Cooks complements the Browns' existing weapons like Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones, creating multiple layers of threat. Think about how Monken would design plays around that trio. Deep shots to Cooks, underneath routes to Cooper, and intermediate crossing patterns to Peoples-Jones. Cook's ability to stretch the field would force defenses to respect the vertical, freeing up opportunities for the running game and play-action passes. Worst-case scenario, Cook still has flashes of his old dominance and helps Cleveland make a swift turnaround, perhaps sneaking into the playoffs next year. Best case, he becomes the missing piece that elevates them into legitimate contenders. But let's be honest, there's always that risk. Age, injuries, and chemistry could be potential hurdles. Cooks isn't the same explosive athlete he was in 2017 or 2018, but even now, his speed and route running are top tier. If he stays healthy, he instantly becomes Watson's favorite target, and that chemistry can develop rapidly, especially with a competent offensive staff. And if the Browns acquire him at a reasonable price, that's a steal. It's the kind of move that can redefine a franchise's identity. So what's my final take? This trade isn't just a rumor, it's a carefully crafted masterstroke in the making. Cleveland's new regime is looking for a splash, a real game changer, and Brandon Cooks fits that profile perfectly. The stars are aligning, the scheme, the personnel, the desperation for a playoff return. As we speak, the league's insiders are buzzing, and I've got eyes on the league's front offices. They're watching this story unfold with interest. Keep your eyes peeled. The Browns are cooking up a storm, and if this deal goes through, it'll set the NFL on fire. Now, don't go anywhere, because what I'm about to reveal next will blow your mind. We're talking about the exact mechanics of the trade, the hidden agendas behind Buffalo and Cleveland's moves, and what the league's biggest power brokers are planning behind closed doors. This isn't just a deal, it's a revolution, and only a select few will see it coming in time. Remember, the NFL isn't just a game of talent, it's a chessboard, and every move counts. The Browns have made their opening gambit, and if they land Cooks, it'll be a checkmate against their rivals. But the clock is ticking, the NFL's next chapter is about to be written in bold, and your front row center. Stay tuned because the best is yet to come.